Dr. Malini Ilayatampi, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic Operations of INTI International University. Mr. Jayatati Palakrishna, Vice President of Employer and Alumni Relations of INTI University and Colleges. Management team of INTI International University, faculty deans, directors and lecturers, students, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to the 25th INTI Leadership Series, proudly brought to you by the Employer Relations Office of INTI. Today, we have with us a dynamic leader who will share his journey in reaching a global market. He is the CEO of HLB International, Mr. Robert Tautges. Welcome to INTI. But before we hear from Mr. Tautges, I'd like to invite Dr. Malini Ilayatampi, Deputy Vice-Chancellor of Academic Operations of INTI International University, to deliver her opening address.
Good afternoon, everyone. A warm welcome to our honored guest, Mr. Robert Tautges, the CEO of HLB International, Dr. Lee Cheng Chai, Senior Partner of HLB Le Lam, Ms. Amy Lim Swee Gyok, Senior Executive Director of HLB Le Lam and a member of the Industry Advisory Board of INTI International University and Colleges, staff of HLB Le Lam Chartered Accountants, senior members of INTI International University and Colleges, staff and students of INTI IU and INTI campuses across Malaysia watching this event live. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to welcome all of you to the Business Leadership Series, an initiative brought to you by the Employer Relations Office at INTI. The success of this event has been evident over the past few years, and I'm glad to see this initiative progressing and expanding tremendously and involving so many outstanding industry leaders over the years. The series has proven to be both educational and inspirational for our students, who I'm sure will be more inspired to be just as successful, if not even more so, than the people they have met through this series. The benefit from this series go beyond the enhancement of students' learning experience. It is a true reflection of the important INTI plays to the development of the employability of its students through the close links and meaningful partnerships established with reputable multinational corporations in Malaysia and globally. For this, and for preparing our students to become industry-ready graduates, I applaud the Employer Relations team. Good job. They have successfully partnered with 125 companies and brought 180 employer projects into the classroom, hence strengthening the From the Classroom to the Boardroom initiative. A total of 5,500 students benefited from these projects thus far. 96% of our graduates are employed within 6 months or less after graduation. This itself speaks about the quality of the students we produce. We know that bringing industry to the classroom is crucial in facilitating our students' education. Beyond having top industry leaders at our doorstep, our Employment to Enrollment initiative has seen our students gain internships and job placements with these reputable companies. This, of course, is all made possible through close ties with our industry partners, and we hope that our students will continue to benefit from this advantage that will surely contribute to their success. This is also a great opportunity for our students from other campuses to learn from successful corporate leaders without having to be physically present with us today. With today's technology in place, our students are able to share and gain knowledge and experience via this borderless medium that have benefited our community over the years. I was also informed that today's BLS session will also be viewed through live streaming across the 500 offices of the HLB across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, at INTI, we strive to meet the growing demands of the industry in fresh graduates by providing our students avenues to hone their skills and expand their knowledge beyond the classroom. Through efforts like the Business Leadership Series, we deliver our promise by ensuring our students gain first-hand knowledge and insight from top leaders to better understand the demands of the workplace. In doing so, we also ensure our students benefit from the 3 I's during their course of study, and therefore they step into the working environment with international exposure, innovative learning, and individual development. Today's session is no exception to our effort, as we are honored to have with us Mr. Robert Tautges, who's close to 38 years of experience with Tautges Red Path and then to HLB International, is truly inspirational. Welcome, Mr. Tautges, to INTI. I'm certain that your session this afternoon will benefit our students tremendously. Before I conclude, I would like to congratulate and thank the organizers for yet another successful business leadership series. And I also would like to thank our students, our guests, and our staff for joining the session this afternoon. Thank you.
Now, allow me to tell you a little bit about our guest speaker today. Mr. Robert Tautges began his career as an officer at the accounting firm HLB Tautges Red Path in 1976. His career has evolved from auditing financial statements to performing a variety of consulting services, including strategic planning, litigation support assignments, international planning, and merger acquisition assistance. Mr. Tautges worked with clients in several industries, including manufacturing, real estate, retail, distribution, and service companies. He also offered expertise to governmental and employee stock ownership plan clients. As a visionary, his leadership has meant continued growth for HLB Tautges Red Path. Robert is the driver behind HLB's success. In his position as chairman of HLB International from 2004 to 2009, Robert further strengthened his knowledge of and relationship with HLB member firms around the world. This assignment was an ideal segue into his current position as CEO of HLB International. Ladies and gentlemen, to share his inspiring journey and leadership insights, please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Robert Tautges.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. I'm honored to be here with you today. From the classroom to the boardroom, I think it's a great saying. I hope some of my remarks can perhaps help you on that transition, that very important transition that you make. I was here in INTI back in May of 2013, and I spoke to a smaller group of students. And one of the questions I asked was, when you go and you talk with a company, is it your goal to be able to fit in? And I could see them shake their heads, yes. And while I think it's important to fit in with any opportunity you have, in today's business world, it's not enough. There's got to be more. You've got to make a difference. You need to be committed. I use the term smart risks. What type of risks do you take, not only in your career, but what does your company take in smart risks to advance? Innovation is so key, and I see it here at INTI in a number of places, but I found throughout my career innovation is truly one of the most important factors to success. And when you innovate, you implement change. And change management, being able to manage change expectations, is also a very vital ingredient. Now I'm going to go through some examples, and some of you may chuckle because some of them are pretty old. But I want you to think, I want to challenge you to say, what is the innovation of today? Because I'm going to share with you some of the innovations over my career that actually made a difference. What is this? A fax machine. A fax machine is an innovation actually going back to the early 80s. I was in a small CPA firm at the time. I felt it was important for us to get a fax machine. Keep in mind, at that time, all information traveled by snail mail, very slowly. A fax machine was an innovation that would allow for instant transmission of important information. What is a CPA firm, but what do they trade in but information? I had a managing partner at the time who was very conservative. He suggested that over the next 6 months, each time we think we would use a fax machine, that we would write it down. Then perhaps later we could look back and decide whether it was going to be a good purchase. Well, I tell you, when Mark Zuckerberg was about to launch Facebook, if he would have said, let's stop for 6 months and try to figure out how often the subscribers are going to go to their homepage, he may have missed the opportunity to be first to market. Now, perhaps not quite on the same scale, but let me tell you, we bought that fax machine. We convinced him. Within weeks, our largest client was doing an acquisition in Swindon. Keep in mind, I'm from the US, I was in Minnesota. That acquisition was a very important acquisition for them, and the owners of that particular company wanted all the information coming through our office. There was highly confidential pieces. They didn't want it going onto their own site. So we were receiving almost non-stop communications from barristers in Swindon, UK, from barristers in London, and from attorneys in the US. It was an opportunity that would have been missed had we delayed. But in business, let me tell you, there's always an opportunity to make a change. It's the challenge to figure out when to pull the trigger. When do you implement? When do you get it started? Management reports. One of the things our firm did was we like to analyze financial statements for our clients, particularly our audit clients. So we do such things as pie graphs. But how did we do it? How did we do it? We used a compass. Do any of you even know what that is? It had a little pencil on the end with a sharp thing. You draw a circle. In any event, I was watching ads, and there was this new machine that was coming out. It was called the Macintosh. It was a Steve Jobs. I got on every list. I got on the computer stores, the department stores. I wanted to have it. I needed to have it because I wanted to take better care of our clients. I wanted to give them a professional-looking, integrated, dynamic type of management report. So what did we switch to? Mac Write and Mac Paint in the Macintosh. It was an implementation for us that set the course for us to get on the edge with computers. So we would modify our word processing, we would implement over the years, and certainly a $5,000 at the time, 125K machine wasn't going to get us there, but as you know, technology moves very quickly, but you needed to start someplace. That's where we started. Paperless. We had all of our files. Again, what are we? Information. We would have lots of files, lots of files. So I had this idea, what if it was digital? What if we could take and have everything online? Well, again, there's an internal sales job. When you want to implement change, you've got to convince your partners because they have to take some money out of their pocket and buy some technology to do that. So it's not always easy. But what we did is we did go entirely digital back in the year 2000. So it was not just our audit files, it was our tax files, our correspondence, our billings, everything you could get to, every official record, right from your desk. It transformed how we did business because we did it in conjunction with implementing a software called Citrix. So now our auditors could have full connectivity wherever they were to every record we had. What was the innovation bonus? Let me tell you what the bonus was. It was this woman right here. Her name is Gloria. Gloria was a tax manager with us, very talented woman, and her husband had just received, taken a position 2 states over in Michigan. So we were in the process of saying our goodbyes to Gloria, one of our superstars, one of our rising stars. But it occurred to me, I was actually on holiday in Steamboat Springs where I do a little skiing, and I'm on Citrix and I'm thinking, we don't have to say goodbye to Gloria. Gloria can stay connected from Michigan. Over 10 years, Gloria worked from Michigan, coming to Minnesota as needed, perhaps once a month. Today, her family has moved back after more than 10 years. She is now a partner with my ex-firm, and she is in charge of our entire tax services area. Without technology, this would not have been possible. So sometimes you implement and you get some unintended consequences, or perhaps better said, some unintended benefits. This was one of the tremendous benefits we had from innovation. Sabbaticals, moving away from technology. I mentioned Steve Jobs earlier. I was having a management meeting, a board meeting, and I challenged my partners. I said, look, things are going great. What's next for us? What do? We can't stand still. What's the next policy? What's the next strategic action? Well, this particular part of the boardroom had now broken down into a much more informal environment, and I'll stop there. But they turned and asked me and said, what do you think, Rob? Well, I had just read an article by Stephen Jobs about how he would really grind up his developers. He would work them so hard in such projects as the Macintosh that he would then put them out on sabbatical. And while sabbatical we normally think of, at least I do in the academic world, I thought, why not for a CPA firm? So that night, we actually approved a sabbatical policy. A partner could leave once every 7 years, could leave for 3 months with full pay, and have no responsibilities. I love that no responsibilities part. I jumped right on top of that. So, I took my family around the world. I have 6 children. I traveled. The idea, really, of the sabbatical was to refresh the individual. But what I found was, again, one of those unintended benefits was it was truly an opportunity for those that we left behind to step up to higher levels. At the time I was teaching a leadership development class in our firm, we would read books, we would have guest lecturers, but I had one what I considered rising star. Her name was Jill. So now I am CEO. I'm going to be gone for 3 months in 2007, at the end of 2007. I approached my partners and I said, what do you think about making Jill CEO? She was all of 27 years old. And believe me, I got some of the same looks I'm getting from you right now. However, they bought it. Jill came in, she took over my office, she took over my position, she ran our company for 3 months. What were the benefits there? CPA firms can talk about supporting talent, about how rising talent is important, but can they truly demonstrate it? We did. We did. The message was to all of our young staff that not only can we say that we have faith in you, that we have confidence in you, but we're going to put you in charge for a while. The benefits continue to this day. Jill is now a principal in the firm, which is 1 step below partner, and I suspect within the next couple of years she will be partner, and who knows, perhaps she'll move back into that office when she was running the firm. So, What is this innovation stuff? What does it really do? Well, I think that every little piece can move a firm along in their success. This is a graph of my accounting firm, my ex-firm. The line is the revenue. And what you see here are just some of the strategic actions. This is an exercise we use to do our planning. Now I've shortened it up and taken out a lot of detail just to give you some idea, but here's that first fax machine, a new facility that we built. PowerDocs was the name of our paperless system. But the idea is that you can't stand still. If you want to drive success, you need to continually make strategic actions to drive your company forward. So this is some of the proof of just some of the actions we took. Finding the right opportunity. I know all of you are going to be challenged to find the right opportunity as you make that transition from classroom. This was my partner, Jim Redpath. The name of our firm was Tautges Redpath. Jim is just an outstanding professional, and I want to boast a bit about him today. When he received his CPA results, he was 3rd in the nation. He had taken a position with what was then a Big 8. You hear a Big 4 now, there used to be more. It was called Touche Ross. He was there for 6 months, and what was Touche Ross trying to do? Get him to fit in. He was on assignments for audits where he would be checking off on transactions. Jim, to my benefit, got very impatient. After 6 months, he walked in. He took a very smart risk. He resigned. He resigned from a very prestigious position for a new graduate. He ended up coming with our firm. By the time he was 30, he was managing our entire tax area. He has had a career that I think he would trade for none other. He took a smart risk. He made the right choice for him, much to the benefit of our firm. Today, he's managing partner of HLB, Tautges Redpath. Again, a smart risk, a great result. Right opportunity is you're looking for what firm to connect with. What company do you want to be with? I just have a feeling that what you really want, at least for me, what I value, are those that are connected with community. They're connected in the community in more than one way, certainly in business, but they're connected also through corporate social responsibility. They really are integrated with the community, and they value innovation. I use an example here with HLB Lur Lam, which is our Malaysia HLB firm, who has done just an outstanding job of connecting to business. I'll just show a few of the events that they've supported, been involved with, but they are truly connected. And one of the programs they just had here with INTI was investment in Malaysia and Greater China, the development of a handbook. It was an outstanding opportunity for business to reach into to education and really connect with an outstanding result. Beyond business connection, they also have the CSR connection. I had the good fortune now of being able to visit an orphanage up in the hills overlooking Kuala Lumpur that is supported by our firm, HLB Lur Lam. They actually had a program that would start savings accounts for the young children. Savings for future, start young was the theme. And I had the very good opportunity of being able to participate in that event. Innovation, key to success. You know, we think about innovation as being the Googles of the world, the technology of the world, but I'm telling you that there are some 100-year-old companies and older whose really foundational piece is innovation. And I would suggest no matter where you land, be sure you end up with a company that values innovation. General Mills is a Minnesota corp, so I use them because I'm familiar with them. But they have something called Innovation Intersection, connecting employees with inventors, academics, entrepreneurs, suppliers, customers, and consumers throughout the innovation process. General Mills, a very old company that started by simply grinding wheat into flour, last year alone issued 200 new products. It is the lifeblood. Innovation is the lifeblood of corporations. 3M is another one. Perhaps you know them for creating the Post-it note, but they believe in the imperatives of hiring the right people, tolerating mistakes, and giving employees freedom to explore in order to foster a culture of innovation. So, again, when you evaluate the values of your opportunities, I would put that certainly someplace on the list. Innovative accountants. I don't know. We still have that image of green eye shade, old-fashioned accountants, but I'm telling you, we're counting on you to make it, to transition it. We need innovation in accounting. We need it desperately. I think that this statement here that I just picked up a couple of days ago, technology has led to the evolution of many industries. However, the accounting industry has always been slow to adapt change. I think there's a tremendous opportunity to get ahead of the curve, to truly innovate in how we deliver services. The accounting profession is so important. We are the watchdogs. The audit part is so relied on by the public that we get accurate financial statements that key decisions can be made on. We need to be able to deliver more efficiently, more effectively, and we can't do that without innovation. I thought just for some of you this might be helpful. I went back and asked our human resource people around the world from HLB member firms around the world, just what are you valuing when you talk with new university students about the possibility of coming to work with them? And you can see they're from North America, from Europe, Africa, Australia, Asia. I've gotten comments from truly around the world. And I just wanted to tie in some of these with the innovation theme. So when they're looking to hire new people, what are they looking for? I've just highlighted in red some of them that I think tie right back to innovation. Problem solve, persuade and influence. Believe me, you can have the best idea, and if you can't convince your supervisor, your managing partner, that it's a great idea to implement this change, because there's going to be a return on investment. It's going to take careful implementation, but there is a return at the end of the day. It's a very important attribute to have for those who'd like to innovate. Provide fully thought out solutions. Believe me, you can't implement every other week a change and hope that one sticks. You need to be able to think them out, truly select the right ones that give you the return. Demonstrate questioning skills, always important. Generates ideas or help in the creation of end product design. Focuses on client needs and excellent service. Keep in mind, when I talked about that Macintosh, what was the driver? I didn't want to just have something cool on my desk. I wanted to deliver something better for a client, something that could make them more effective, give more value of the services that we were providing. So always looking at just what the needs of the clients are in the service business is so important. What was repeated often, and I think this ties into change management, they're looking for new staff that are flexible and adaptable. Very key attributes. Inquisitive, creative, and here we see it, innovative. Not afraid to take risks. Again, you can't get frozen in this lockstep. We always have done it this way. We cannot make a change. If you do, that firm will simply not make it. I like this one, think outside the box. Innovation is the key for future growth. And again, this comes from a human resource person. This is someone who's hiring for the future of their firm. Discover your strengths. I just wanted to close with this. This is one book that I've used and perhaps will help you in your journey, but it's called Strengths Finder. The Gallup poll went and interviewed 2 million people to try to figure if they could define what a strength is. I use this with my partners, with my key staff. I've actually used it with clients to really understand where they're coming from in team formation in a number of different areas. I found it valuable. And in that, two of the strengths that I go into, one is strategic and one is futuristic. And a strategic person is often asking questions that start with, what if? What if we made a key change? And the futuristic person is going in and saying, wouldn't it be great if? And then they fill it in. So keep aware of the fact that when you see these types of questions, these are people that have a strength for strategy and futuristic. And sometimes they can be some of the best to have on your team. And so with that, I'm going to close. I believe we're going to have some questions. And thank you very much for your kind attention.